Hi everyone, I know that many of you might not have much to do or anywhere to go due to this pandemic, so I have taken the liberty of recommending some books that you can read to pass the time. Now, yesterday I did two books that were nonfiction and really more current events. I understand for a lot of people that's not really what they're looking for. They want something that they can escape from politics, current events, or the news. So this is The Comedians by Greene, which I read a couple months ago. And I think that this is the novel, along with The Quiet American, that established him as this great commentator and to some extent a satirist on international affairs. So you're not entirely escaping the world here, but you're going back in time to the mid 60s to Haiti, which at the time was ruled by Papa Doc, as the president Francois Duvalier was known. And the story begins, there's three Western people. Two of them are British, Mr. Brown, who's the narrator, who owns a hotel in Haiti, and Major Jones, who claims to be a former military officer. And then there's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, okay, and they are this American couple. The husband, Mr. Smith, was once a presidential candidate for one of these socialist parties. He seems to be based a lot on former Vice President Henry Agard Wallace, who was the Progressive Party candidate in 1948. And the three characters, they arrive in Haiti, and it follows a lot of their adventures and how they deal with them. And their characters are, in many, many ways, they are different approaches to life or phases of consciousness to the world around you. You have Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who are very innocent and naive, idealistic. They believe that Haiti can be helped through some sort of agricultural program and through vegetarianism. And interesting for Haiti, which is a country where I believe they still do sacrifices of live roosters and chickens. So they go around and they try to contact people and try to convince the government over there to adopt vegetarianism as a social program. Major Jones is more of one of these opportunists who he doesn't really have any ideals. He's trying to go into the country and extract whatever he can from it and possibly take over. And you have Mr. Brown, who's been there the longest, who owns a hotel there, whose mother owned a hotel there. There's a lot of business going on there. His mom, who had abandoned him, and he'd grown up at some sort of I guess a convent school in not convent school, but some sort of Catholic school in Italy, and basically had no roots and whatever. And finally, when he discovered his mom was in Haiti and had bought this hotel, he goes there, and it turns out that she'd been shacking up with a local servant. So that was a very jarring experience for him. It was he goes through it in the book, talking about how that character has sort of this aversion to that guy who's still around, who was much younger than his mother. But in any case, he is the cynical person as opposed to the other two. He doesn't believe that Haiti has much of a future, and he thinks that much of the opportunity that he sought when he came down there to take over the hotel it's been irreparably destroyed. You cannot get back what was taken already, and that Duvalier and his Tonton Macoute, they destroyed everything in Haiti that was worth saving. And it follows them with all of these various adventures of theirs. Okay, so the adventures of the Smiths we already went through. They're trying to get the people of Haiti to adopt vegetarianism. And you have Major Jones, who is trying to get either in with the government or in with the opposition. It's never quite clear, and there's a lot that's revealed about him that's not quite what meets the eye once you get to the end. And then you have Mr. Brown, who is carrying on an affair with the wife of a diplomat from Uruguay. And he is basically just trying to enjoy life, even though it's becoming intolerable. And there's no way to really carry on anymore because the government has basically squeezed away many of the trappings of real freedom that are left, freedom and any sort of ability to do whatever you want and escape some sort of abuse by the thugs that are loyal to Duvalier. So yeah, this could be a little timely, unfortunately, for people who might be in one of these states that has a heavy quarantine policy. If you're watching this review later, obviously you might be forgetting what's going on right now. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be like Haiti in 1966. This movie was turned into a film in 1967 starring Richard Burton and Peter Ustinov. And I think that this is why, reading books is in some ways it's better than producing films. Because yes, there are some films that become classics. Unfortunately, who watches Richard Burton films now? What is it? Almost 50 years later. More than 50 years later. It's 54 years since this book came out, and 53 since the film adaptation did. So the book is still, I would say, very, very applicable for what a lot of these first world yuppie idealists think when they go to other countries and they think that they can basically live, they can because they have this a cultured look at the world because of their education. They think they go elsewhere and everybody else is just waiting to welcome them. It's not the case. It's definitely not the case in Haiti. And that's about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also subscribe to me on all of these other platforms, BitChute, Minds.com, and Subscribestar if you want to throw a couple bucks at me. Also on Gab at Starscream85. Everywhere else it's Chef Leopard or at Chef Leopard. And I'll talk to you later. All the best.